Hi, I'm Rob Stevens. This podcast is about blood gas analysis, acid-base balance. Don't worry if you don't understand it or you don't know the answer, because we'll be talking through the various options. Okay, why don't you pause the podcast now while you read through the case, think about it, and look at the various answers. Okay, let's look at this one. The three things again: pH, CO2, and the metabolic component, which is basic success or bicarbonate. So the pH is normal here. So either that person, that patient, 35-year-old man, is in perfect health with no acid-base disorder like you or I, or they've got a fully compensated acid-base disorder going on. So the pH is normal. CO2 is low. So a low CO2, what does that cause? That normally causes an alkalosis. So let's look further down. The bicarbonate basic success are low. That causes a metabolic acidosis. So let's look through the options. A, metabolic acidosis. Well, it is a metabolic acidosis with full respiratory compensation. Well, that is in fact the correct answer. But let's think about the others because it's useful education. Metabolic acidosis with partial respiratory compensation. Well, it is a metabolic acidosis, but it's not partial compensation because the pH is normal. The respiratory changes have caused the pH to come back to normal. It's not a mixed metabolic and respiratory acidosis because it's a metabolic acidosis, but the respiratory thing is not an acidosis. It's lowering the CO2, which causes an alkalosis. D, respiratory acidosis. Well, it's not a respiratory acidosis. A respiratory acidosis is somewhere where the CO2 has risen because of hypoventilation. So it's not D or E. It can't be because it's not a respiratory acidosis. The correct answer, therefore, is a metabolic acidosis because the bicarbonate basic success are low with full respiratory compensation because the CO2 is low and the pH is normal. That's why we call it a full respiratory compensation.